Good morning, Speaker of the House, Crow Tribal Legislative Branch Senators. My name is Deborah Russell, representing the Health Department and representing the Cabinet of Health and Human Services. You guys have a copy of my report. Was given out by the secretaries, and that's what I'm going to be going over. Then if you have any questions, or we can answer them. So on the top of the report, I have resubmitted a new organization chart. And on this organization chart, I oversee 9 programs. Within the organization chart, 2 programs are overseen by the Assistant Director of the Health, who is Shannon, and 4 programs are under Director of Social Services, that's Susan Whiteshirt. Moving on, the first report I'm going to give is the health report, and I was hired March 12th. When I came on board, there was it was to oversee the tribal health department, and they hired me as tribal health director. So I'll give you the health report, and then I'll give you the cabinet report. The first page has the Indian Health Service 638 programs. We currently are paid up to date. All salaries are paid. All staff of health are CPR certified. We're working on getting background checks for the department. March, April, and May, we had 153 people come into the department. So in March, it's just kind of getting acquainted with the department and the employees, and on March 30th, the HR advised me that the chairman wanted me to be the acting cabinet head for the department. So in April, really started connecting and outreaching and collaborating with area office and with all the health entities associated with Crow Tribal Health, and went to several meetings representing the Crow Tribe. Was invited to the medical services meeting by Dorothy Dupree up in Billings, and what they want to do is they want to set up a board comprised of medical doctors and of elected officials. So if you are interested in serving on that board, either you can let Dorothy Dupree know, or I can give her that message. And I don't know when they're going to start those meetings, but they were talking about going forward with a board overseeing health. The other meetings we went to, and the program that I really started working on was the special diabetes program. And for the first month of April, completing those reports and meeting with phone conferencing with headquarters, and meeting with HR and with finance and budgets, and just really trying to get the program revamped. In May, continued meetings with finance and payroll. Rocky Mountain Tribal Leaders Association came down, met with me over at the building there. On May 7th, we had a meeting for a corrective action plan with Indian Health Service, because when I came on board 2016, reports weren't done, and 2017 reports weren't done. And also Indian Health Service was looking at the 2016 of Crow Tribal audit. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to put us on a corrective action plan, which the chairman agreed to and asked me to develop the corrective action plan, which I did and submitted, and it was accepted on May 14th. So from May 14th to May 30th, we had to really look at our tribal health programs, and that includes community health representatives, alcohol program, the recovery center, security, and health education. And what we found out was health education program needs to be revamped, and found out that the community health representatives, the scope of work that they were operating under was from 2014, and what they were doing was they were resubmitting that same scope of work, and in that scope of work they said that all the CHRs would be placed in various health entities. And speaking with the director, Max, he shared with me that Indian Health Service was not wanting the program in there, so they revamped it, and then that's when they started having their community health work, drivers drive the dialysis patients to Billings, and so what we were told by Indian Health Service was the program had to match the scope of work. So I already knew that community health representatives and health education scopes of work were not being met. So for the plan of health, that's two things that we're doing. And if the other program that's in there in the health AFA contract is long-term care, and that's the nursing home. But the contract doesn't offer the nursing home any money, so the only thing that the recovery center is doing good. Security center is doing good. The director, Ernie Verdonwalk, is vying for justice of the peace. So we're starting to develop a backup plan should he be elected to justice of the peace for Bighorn County. For the Tribal Health Administration, we did try to have a health board meeting, but we found out that 3 appointments to the health board were expired, and so we had an informal health meeting, and Latana Oldalk and Carol Alden interested in reinstatement. On my plan here for the Tribal Health Administration, I stated that we need THIP. THIP stands for Tribal Health Improvement, Language, and Scope of Work. The state is offering all the native tribes in Montana opportunity to get some money, and what the state is offering the tribe that I'm trying to put into place is a Tribal Health Improvement Plan, and what they do is they get 3,500 Medicaid recipients, and they're going to give our program 350, which is 10%. And from that 10%, they want those people to filter through the health programs, and if we can filter them through, then we get $75 per person that comes through the program. So I'm just trying to get the language for THIP placed in the scope of work, and part of that plan is to hire a advanced practitioner registered nurse through the community health representatives, In 2019, President Trump plans to phase out community health representatives and the health education. So I think as senators and the legislative body, you need to think about how we can service people utilizing those agencies. So under community health representatives, Max Spotted bears the director, and my question is, how is Crow going to transport dialysis patients in 2 years when the program is gone? So what we told Max was, we said to start planning, because in September of 2019 there won't be any money for that department or for the health education department. With the CHR program, the nursing home wishes to use the space they're currently at. CHRs are over by the fitness center, and so I'm not really familiar with the spaces that Crow has to offer. So Miriam Smith, who's she procurement, she's supposed to help find space for the community health representatives to be moved, and I guess that was agreed upon by Chairman Not Afraid and Paul Littlelight, who's running the nursing home. Security, we're employing 5 employees. We still need, we got more money from the contract to hire 2 security guards, one for Lodge Grass and the other for Pryor. And then we're down 1 at Crow. So we should have 9 security guards, but we only have 5. Health Education Department, we're in need. We need to hire 2 community health educators, 1 health educator to I want to write the job description to where they will get CPR certified and just educate all the programs for the tribe to become CPR certified. And with the other health educator position, it's to educate different populations of people on the reservation. And I'd like to send our director, Calvin Jefferson, to lifestyle coach training. He's a master's level social worker, so he kind of has that knowledge base as a foundation that will help him, and he's a vital, important part of the program for the new tribal health improvement. Because if we revitalize the tribal health program the way you know it, it's going to be more of a clinical setting, and we'll be able to gather $26,000 a month if everything was to work out. Moving on, for the cabinet report, we have 3 Indian Health Service grants, and the first one is Special Diabetes Prevention Initiative. Right now, we have hardly any employees showing up for work, and we had to have a talk with them. They're not showing up for work because they haven't been paid for pay periods 10, 11, 12, and 14. And IHS wanted to know how the tribe was going to pay back $1.5 million back before they were able to offer any advances or reimbursements to the program. And so I don't know if they got the letter. I did review in grants management if they got any plan to pay the money back, but it's not in grants management. I haven't been able to ask anybody if the chairman wrote the letter. MSPI, Gen 1, and Family Spirit. We got Shannon here, so maybe she can give the report on that. For Montana state funded grants, the fiscal years usually through 7/1 through 6/30 of the following year. We have our tobacco use prevention program, who's run by Samson D. Crane, He's currently paid up to date, and the program is currently good. We have Title 4E, who's run by Deloria Spotted Horse. We got the non-4E billing completed. There's just some time samples that the state needs before the end of the fiscal year, and they haven't been paid period 10, 11, 12, or 14 as well. The WIC department, who's run by Deborah Fick, she's a licensed nutritionist, and about 2 weeks ago, the state evaluated the program, and they had some deficiencies, and so they're currently on corrective action plan that needs to be developed by that department, and it's got to be done within 60 days to the state. So I haven't received a copy of that corrective action plan yet, but they are also needing pay periods 10, 11, 12, and 14. For the administration for children and families, the grant cycle usually runs again from July 1st through June 30th. And we have 4 programs under that. We have Native Employment Work Program run by Rebecca Joyce Deputy. Her program is up to par. She also needs pay period 10, 11, 12, and 14. Family Preservation, I don't have a director right now. Susan Whiteshirt has been filling it. The coordinator was Rift. Director Whiteshirt completed a report for this department. She found out the program was underutilized, so we got big plans for that department to actually expand it under the grant. They also need pay period 10, 11, 12, and 14. Songbird Daycare is run by Director Lydia Hogan. She's here to give her report. Senior citizens, currently, Songbird Daycare also needs pay period 10, 11, 12, and 14. Same way with senior citizens. On 6/11, I delegated Kim Holt's Hugs to be acting because we found out that the director wasn't showing up for work, so we temporarily appointed Kim Holt's Hugs, who now the chairman appointed Marla Littlelight for the department. Bureau of Indian Affairs 638 contracts. Is the Indian Child Welfare Act program, and that program is up to par. Rebecca Buffalo's the director. She's carrying 170 kids on her caseload. That's it for the cabinet report. Do you have any questions? Yes, Senator Goodwin.
Thank you, Deborah, for coming and doing reports. I just kind of had some questions there. The question would be about the 1.5 million funds. Is that an advance to the tribe?
Yes.
What year was that?
Last year,
Okay, and that was advanced,
like a year ago.
so they still have to pay that back in order for you guys to have reimbursement.
Yes.
Also, the old age home, the senior citizens, and the Indian Child Welfare Act. Those programs.
What about?
What's going on with the old age home?
I just reported it. Where
Is there any people? I kind of hear
you mean
the old age home here.
maybe Shannon can speak to that. She's on the board of directors.
What's going on there? Senior citizens, they open and
Senior citizens is open for business.
and then I was just speaking up for Senator Nawatney. He's not here, but he said that nobody's showing up to the courts in Yellowstone County
For
pro kids.
oh,
He said there's like, I don't know what the number was. Somebody knows the number. there's like so many Indian kids that are crows that are in that system, and nobody's showing up for the courts. And I believe one of his grandson was one of them.
Rebecca Buffalo had a contingency plan in place. She's currently on sick leave. And so Deloria Spotted Horse is supposed to be going to court for her. That's what I was told. I'll address it to her today.
So, on the 1.5, can we kind of get into that? Why was that spent for? What was the question caused?
It was before I got here. I don't know any specifics as to why, what, where, when. I just know that when I was hired by Chairman Not Afraid, that he was concerned about the diabetes program. When I was able to start, looking into it, a report was due. So that's what I focused on. As we started going along, the employees, what we were told by HR. I and Mary Shar Simpson was hired on the same day, and what they told us was that they were really worried about the program and to get it back up. So we got it fully staffed, but then came the problem of not being able to pay them. And so that's when I started getting more information about this 1.5 million and started having conversations with headquarters who really want a plan from the Crow tribe on how to pay it back. I talked to finance. I've talked to the Joseph and Eves law firm to do that plan. I've sent emails to the chairman asking him to do the plan, and I don't know if it's been done.
Also, I think we as a branch need to be more active in the healthcare. We can't settle for life or limb. And I went to a meeting about a year and a half ago with Eric Bergengram when he was senator, and we met with Dorothy Dupree. And it was some kind of they call it like a monthly, quarterly meeting when they talk about the problems, people submitting complaints on each other and all this stuff. And we kind of went and sat in, and we were never invited back. And I was kind of upset about that, but I believe that we need to be more in communication so we can sit in there and listen to them and address a lot of the issues. Like right now, if we call a clinic, we call a clinic and not transfer. Prior, we asked to see a doctor, we're not going to see a doctor. And I addressed at that time, we need more nurses and doctors. And I asked Dorothy Dupree and what necessary steps have they taken. And they kind of just really gave me an answer. And that time, the current CEO wasn't even there. He was in Standing Rock or somewhere. So there's a lot of, how would you say, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, especially with the IHS, Just like a doctor that was let go. I don't know the whole story on that, but I just kind of hear bits and pieces, and we don't know nothing. We're in the dark here, but it'd be good if this communication.
In reading the contract more, the tribe actually has the right to sit in on their quarterly meetings, and just FYI, I used to work there for 19 years, but I can't remember this meeting that they have where area office comes down for review. What's it called? Governing body meeting.
I think that's what.
Yeah. So the tribe has every right to be there, and I do want to meet with. I have met with the CEO once in regards to the diabetes program, and they conveyed to us that they wanted a podiatry technician versus a vision technician. So I thought that was good, but I do agree with you that I want to, and I would welcome the senators of the branch to sit in on that meeting. It's your right as a tribe. The other thing you mentioned about nurses and doctors, I just got on USA Jobs just for review, And there is a lot of nurses and doctors. In fact, I'm kind of leery about the tribe trying to hire an advanced practitioner because there's so much competition. These nurses actually have, they can live and work wherever they want because there's such a high need for them. And especially an advanced practitioner, which I want to hire through the community health representatives at $45 an hour, to make it more competitive, that they'll want to work here. And, right now, Crow Tribe doesn't have any housing, so we can't bring those people in without housing unless they're your own Crow Tribal members. So if the body here know of any Crow Tribal members that have a nursing degree, but also that has the advanced practitioner degree, that's that extra schooling to give them that extra ability to treat without that supervision. You can treat autonomously as a licensed professional.
Thank you.
Is there, I was just interested in questions that Senator asked about the doctor that was let go. We did write some letters here and send them out to Dupree and Tester and Zinke. And one of the worries that we have, the things that people are talking about, is that when it first happened, people were calling me. The employees over there were calling me. Then all of a sudden it quit. And I went over and I talked to one of the ones that called me, and he said that they sent a verbal message out that no more, couldn't explain anything about the hospital. They can't tell anything about the hospital, what's going on, because your job is at stake. One of the things that goes on over there is it's a government-to-government relationship with us in the BIA, like IHS. And so if they speak out of turn with, or whatever is like, it's like treason. So if they speak about the hospital or the problems that they're going through out of turn, it's like treason for them, so they can be fired for that. And and they just went through whistleblower training. They had just gone through that within 3 months ago. And that's what that's all about, is being able to speak about the problems that go on in the hospital. And so now they go through that and they're told that they can't because their job's at stake. And there's one woman that actually sent letters to the tester, to the Attorney General, and somebody else. And she's one of the nurses, the military nurses. And as soon as that happened, they sent her to Texas. So she's now in Texas right now. She got detailed to Texas. And it's not, it's something that has been going on for a while. And the CEO over there, Darren Crow, it's like he's not in charge. There's some the under ones, the ones that are telling him what to do. They're the ones that actually fired Dr. Sanchez, sent him off. He was on contract, so I talked to him, and he said that they can do that. They can call the place where he works out of building, and they pulled him out because of what they said. And it was Joseph Dunn, Dean Gorski, and Yoder, Sharon Yoder. And then the next day, right after they fired him, Rosie Hoff left, and she was one of them too. So she just left the country and she's in Nebraska now. But those were the four that, and they didn't even need the CEO's signature, and that kind of seemed weird, because his signature wasn't on any of that. And then we've been getting reports from a lot of the, especially the elders. They've been coming and talking to us and telling us that. And I've got a couple of letters. I sent one to Tester. But they're the ones that are disappointed the most, because our elders have a hard time going to the hospital and talking to the new doctors that they don't know. And Sanchez has spent some time learning Crow, learning how to the traditions, and so they feel comfortable with him. they can go and they feel comfortable going and speaking to him and being part of the healthcare for them. And now that he's gone, I know some of the elders actually are going to Hardman Billings and paying the out-of-pocket expense because of the fact that he's not here. And so that's kind of been one of the things that people have been talking. I talked to you guys about that meeting that I went to. But so that's just one of the things I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in and giving your report in terms of the body. Guests, just a little bit on, are you familiar with the bill, it's LB 1001? A bill entitled an act establishing a Crow-Tribal Health Board and establishing authority, duties, and responsibilities of Upsaugee Nation Health Board. I know you mentioned earlier that some of them, our terms are up, and I believe the chairman did get some confirmation letters over here, so I believe Chairman Deltown is working on those, so hopefully, I think he's got a meeting set for tomorrow, right? So we can get that, at least a quorum on that board, but I always like to talk about empowering this board, because sometimes at one time they were functioning pretty good there, especially as their compensation, where a previous cabinet, our director, found some money within the health department to get them paid so they can, with their duties, like I said, with any other board right now, they're just pretty much donating their time and they're there. But some of the duties and powers of the board is, I just wanted to read a couple of them, was represent the Crow Tribal and meeting directly with the staff of the United States Indian Health Service, Department of Health and Human Services, and requests regarding Indian healthcare policy, funding concerns, policy discussions, as well as healthcare, health services, provisions, issues specific to the Crow Tribe. Then there's the one meet with the staff of the Crow Northern Shannon Hospital to review and report on the status of the facility to the elected officials of the Crow Tribal government. Perform projects assigned by the health department head of the executive branch, which probably would be you, or as directed by the Crow Tribal executive branch officials and the Crow Tribal legislature pursuant to the duly enacted laws and ordinances of the Crow Tribe. Those are just some of them in there. I was like, this is law too, so it's a bill. So I'd like to I'll leave you a copy here. We need to empower this board and not utilize them. I believe that's why we have Tom here also, that he can sit in on some of those meetings. And you mentioned that at the Billings level, the area, they're needing someone at that level also. Tom would be, he represents our health in here. So he'd be someone who'd be good to serve on that board also. So just to mention a few of those things, and like I said, appreciate you coming in and doing your report. Thank you. So Lisa, I believe we had one more right after her.
Oh, if you want me to, I can.
Okay, so, Shannon, you know what? We're still in health, and Shannon had something to say. Then following her will be Pamela.
And then you got
Head Start. We got Head Start right after that, 11 o'clock. We got this. Leila.
no,
She's not even here now.
11:30 is Feed the Trust, LA.
If not, then we'll go. If she's Pamela's list, then we'll go right into Feed the Trust in Alley. And then like AAM's here also waiting, so we'll go in that order. All right, floor's yours.
Okay, actually I was on my way out to go to that princess meeting or whatever that was. But I'm here and I've been with the health department, and so I have knowledge and history about what goes on there and what doesn't. I don't have paper to back me up, but I know you had questions, and she said I can probably elaborate on the 2 MSPI grants. The 2 MSPI grants were written by other people other than myself, but I was brought on board. There's one grant called the MSPI Family Spirit Grant, and that is directed towards meth prevention. But the people who wrote the grant on behalf of the whole tribe wrote it, and they used a curriculum that's called Family Spirit. And Family Spirit basically is a parenting program. But what they did was they said they were going to target high-risk mothers for children at 7 months gestation, and they phase out of the program at 3 years. So that is a great program. It's a great target audience, but it leaves out everybody else, meaning all the preteens, teenagers. So anything spending in that grant that doesn't fall within the curriculum that was written is a disallowable cost, a disallowable function. So that's there, but we had one family worker when I came aboard. I was just asked to be quality assurance, and quality assurance just basically covers your administrative functions. Administrative functions meaning I make sure that the reports are done, make sure that every cost is within compliance, so that we don't have to pay back anything. And I'm good at that part. I'm good at reading policy procedure and making sure that everybody follows the rules. And so that one, at the beginning of October 1, my family home advocate was furloughed. So the program is without a home visitor. Why? Because we don't have financial reports. I can do the SF 425s, but I only transfer the information from the tribe into the PMS system. Meaning, I don't have the authority to say I'm a comptroller and say that this financial information is correct. Once I have that paper, I can then go into Grant Solutions, plug in all the numbers, and it'll convert. But that original document has to be sent in by and stamped by the CPA comptroller. And I don't have that authority. And so I've been talking and knocking on deaf ears, but I don't have a home visitor. I have myself at 20% of the time for that grant. And
sorry to interrupt you, but that very process right there is where our problem is. Can you say that again once you get to the 425s?
Okay.
And then now from there to the CPA.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll see what I can remember. But the 425 is a financial document submitted, and when we submit the grants, you all know that we submit that we have the executive portion, we have all those little things we put in, but we also say that we have a personnel department who oversees that department, also the finance department. I'm not a financial officer. I don't have those credentials to stamp this form. And even if I did, Grant Solutions will kick it back in a heartbeat because I don't have that authority. So when you get this form, you plug in the numbers on the template. And me, I'm not afraid to ask for help. I'm not afraid to say, I don't know how. Can you walk me through? And that's what I've done each and every time that I do get this form. I log on to Grant Solutions, and you call the headquarters and they say, okay, and they open the window. Open the window meaning they send you the portal to open up that financial document, and then we walk through and we submit all of it, and then boom, it's done. Once that's done, then it goes back to the tribe saying, okay, your money is there, you can draw down on it. And I have a little diagram on my phone I always follow. So then the tribe, the finance office will log in with their credentials and get the money and put it in the account. Now that's why we have both programs. I don't have workers because the program I'm talking about in question has not been drawn down since the last 4 quarters. So it's been about a little over a year because I'm just now ending third quarter for the third year, and that'll be in July. So I don't have funding. So the tribe was carrying this individual until they couldn't afford it. So we were drawing down on funds, and that is a matter of a simple phone call. It's a matter of public knowledge. You can call the Indian Health Service and ask for the MSPI tech support, and they'll give you all the information you need. And it's just, you can call, she can call, it's public knowledge. So that's where we're at with the MSPI Family Spirit Grant. That grant is enough to pay for one home worker, and that home worker, we said that we would have a caseload of at least 20. I'm one person, and I am not lying on the reports, but I go home and I visit my relatives with kids and put in my data. And we're doing a function. But I don't have a home worker. And the MSPI Gen I grant was written, and we're in the second year of it. And that one is, these both are our IHS grants, and this one is geared towards youth. Well, the tribe was carrying the individuals on there, and we did make some changes that I got Debbie's approval about the staff on it. But we don't have anybody in there. It was written to follow the curriculum of Meth Smart Smart Moves, and that's a Boys and Girls Club curriculum. And so it was for after-school programs. So to amend that and to change the scope of whatever you want, which is not recommended, is it has to follow what it was written for. So anything we do has to follow in those guidelines, and all the costs have to go with what we said we were going to originally spend. Now, we don't have any workers in there, and I'm on as a project director, and at the tribal level, I don't have anything in writing, but as I'm on as a project director, so that is 20% of my time, so I make sure and I get in, so I have the authority to do those. But we don't have any workers. We're working hard. This is a timely process, and the funds for that one have never been drawn down on since the beginning of the grant. And let's see, we're in 17-18, so that was 16-17. The grant is in its second year. So there's a pot of money there that hasn't been drawn down on, simply because of the process I explained earlier, that we didn't have the personnel to make sure that those were done. And always the holdup is SF 425. I can report all I want, I can download all I want, I can send whatever, but without this financial document, we can't get funding. So that's where we're at with the two grants. And great focus, great whatnot. But and then they asked about the nursing home. I can answer a few questions, but realize that I'm under oath too, and we do have our own spokesperson for the nursing home. So if I feel like I can answer your question without stepping on HIPAA laws, I'll answer them. But I can tell you that the nursing home is in transition. I guess in transition of finding a nursing home administrator. The reimbursement rates, that wasn't done properly, and so there's a team in there. But overall, to keep the nursing home open, the nursing home had, do you all understand who CMS is? Center for Medicaid Services. That's the federal government who gives you the funding. And the funding goes to the state and then to us, and then but we report to the state. But CMS is the ultimate people here. Well, CMS said, okay, nursing home, you've been in trouble a lot of times, and you've had 3 findings, 3 reports in the last 5 years. This is not good. That everybody knows your name, and that's not good at all. We're gonna shut you down, or we're going to send this team in to help you, but you're going to have to pay for this team. And let me tell you, they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. And to have the nursing home remain open, we had to allow this to happen, otherwise the doors would be shut. Now, having this team in, and they were holding the board ultimately responsible there, and that's unheard of, really, to have the board adhere and answer to every little thing, even the floor not being mopped. And we were simply supposed to be an oversight. But with that, we had to agree for this Village team to come in. And they were appointed by the CMS to say, okay, this is the best team that we saw that can help you. So they've been on site for a few months now, and we pay them quite a bit. And so upon this contract, we had to submit to all of their recommendations. And on top of paying them, we had fines that were, I'm glad we had money there to pay for it, but now we're looking at the financials there. The reimbursements have not been what they should have been, but we have a team, a financial team that's coming in now, and they'll be here all this week, so if you have any questions, you can pop over and visit with Paul, and he'll tell you what's going on there. But they are still setting up our system so we can bill for everything that we can possibly can for the past year. And we have residents there who don't qualify for any type of payment, so we're just there, and they're not. We aren't collecting any revenue, meaning the nursing home is there, but it's not free, and we have to be able to get back something there. Now, Village is going through all of our departments and giving us reports, and changes have to be made, and some changes aren't good, but that's the way it is. And if we don't like it, we can tell them to go, but they'll shut our doors, and we simply don't have the money to have this operate on its own, and we need that reimbursement. So, any questions?
So how do you, thank you. Just one question on 425s. You mentioned earlier, I know this has been a problem, not only this program, but the 425 reporting. It's reported by a program, and it hits CPAs, and CPAs don't follow up on those. So can you give us some type of remedy to remedy this problem?
Well, actually, we've been trained, the tribe has been training us. A lot of programs and a lot of directors will keep their own cuff account, saying how much they've spent, how much we think that we have left. But to get that officially from the finance department, we don't have it. And all I can speak for right now is the grants. So right now in the grants, I know on paper that we have this much because I know we didn't spend this much. And when I got the receipts from the other individuals that work for the program, and I put it down, there's expenditure reports. So I went through all the expenditure reports, and I highlighted everything that I know is reimbursable, meaning like food is not reimbursable. Let me tell you, we spend a lot on it. Exercise shirts, garments, those have to be awarded a certain way. If you say t-shirt or whatnot, it's not reimbursed, and the tribe has spent thousands on t-shirts. And it's a matter of wording, a matter of proper documentation. So you have to make sure and contact your technical advisor at the area level to make sure that these things, what we spend is allowable and not allowable. So a lot of people will have a running sheet of what they spent, but it doesn't coincide with what's an allowable cost and what's a not allowable cost. So that's where a lot of them will get kicked out. But me, I call the TA first, before we're gonna spend something, or before we're gonna have a function, hey, we're gonna do this. And then they'll give their suggestion, okay, maybe if you word it like this, or federal government gives you a $17 per shirt, that's the maximum you can spend. And some people will spend like $35 a shirt, and that's totally disallowable. Totally. And then we have people in there who want to spend a lot of money just to make it look good, but they will not adhere to the federal guidelines. You have to spend at least $17 per shirt. And if you do pay for a meal, it has to be a working lunch, and there has to be an agenda and a speaker that actually is right in with what you're saying. Like if you're a homeless shelter, or if we were providing lunch for maybe domestic violence people who we're trying to educate them. You know, we have to really detail. Some people don't go through that. So to remedy what you're saying, we have this program that's new and everybody's learning. And what did I say that name was? I just can't even think of it right now. But it's a new software system, and we're all to put it on the website and put in all of our costs. And not only do we see it, the finance sees it. So any change. So once everybody gets themselves educated on that software system, everybody should be on the same page. And now, but that takes some time to learn that system. Oh, I guess this is. No, not San Manage. Yeah, there it is. E-Civis. No, that's the tribe's answer to